Been just a little bit. All right, here we go, guys.
This is the Coin Show Podcast. The show about coins and coin collecting. And not just any show. This is the #1 coin collecting podcast, going 10 years strong. Here's Matt Dinger and Mike Nodelman on the Coin Show Podcast.
This is episode, the long-awaited episode 198 of the Coin Show Podcast. I'm Mike.
And I am Matt.
And on episode 198 of the Coin Show Podcast, we will answer listener questions. We are going to talk about your coolest things.
Mm-hmm.
But first, as always, the news.
So, Mike, have you gotten one for us? A sponsor? People are lining up to sponsor our news segments.
They are.
They are.
But, you know, we have to vet everybody that does this. So, you know, that's kind of it. So, let's see. This episode of the Coin Show Podcast, I'm a little out of practice. This episode of the Coin Show Podcast is brought to you by snow. Covering up the ugliness of winter in a blanket of pure white, then gray, then just what? Snow.
Have you guys got snow yet? I mean, I assume you have.
We are getting some tonight. We have had some.
We have had 0 snow this year. Flurries.
Oh, you're
that's
lucky.
it. Nothing has stuck. I know it's been amazing. I hate winter. This is good. So we'll see.
Well,
We're supposed to get
I'm
some
kind of in that bring it mode because I just bought a new vehicle. So my first all-wheel drive vehicle.
Ooh, yeah.
So
Mike's gonna be doing donuts and off-roading in the snow. It's gonna be good. I like it.
Sure.
Well, let's check out the news.
Oh, okay. We'll cut that one off.
Oh, we don't have to.
No, it's okay. I was just going to tell you that there's a shopping center here in my hometown. I'm very close to where I grew up.
Okay.
So there's a shopping center where my dad used to go and do donuts in his car in the parking lot. And my mom used to have a fit about it all the time. She was like, you know, why are you doing that? You're going to wreck your car. And he's like, no, I'm just trying to see how it's going to handle when it happens out on this, you know.
And it was just an excuse to go rip some donuts with the kids in the car.
God.
Yeah. I love that. That's
one of my fondest memories of my father.
That's pretty good.
So, on to the news.
Yeah.
The coin world has lost an absolute legend.
Mm-hmm.
Harvey Stack passed away January 3rd. Now, he joined the family business at age 25 and built Stack's Rare Coins, founded by his father and his uncle, into an international name in auctions of rare coins.
100%, yes.
So the Coin Update article goes on to say that Harvey Stack's role in numismatics was not purely business. He fought for clearer import regulations on coins from overseas and testified before a congressional subcommittee leading to the Hobby Protection Act of 1973.
Mm-hmm.
He also worked with the ANA and other professionals in the effort to develop a standardized grading systems for coins. In 1996, he appeared before the U.S. House Banking Committee to propose the 50-state quarters program. He served on the board of the PNG for nearly a decade and acted as its president for 2 years, beginning in 1989. In 1993, he received the PNG's Founders Award, their highest honor for his dedication to the hobby. Over the years, Harvey was a great supporter of the ANA, the ANS, and the Smithsonian Institution. He was a long-term member of the International Association of Professional Numismatists, as well as numerous other other numismatic societies.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a guy with a legacy. There you go. Stack still is one of the biggest companies, biggest auction houses for numismatics.
Yeah, just an absolute giant in our business.
Yep.
I mean, the fact that he partnered with Bowers and they merged two of the bigger names in numismatics to create Stack's Bowers. You know, that I think says something for both him and Dave.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Harvey Stack was 93 years old. The United States Mint has started shipping the new American Women Quarter program.
Have you seen one yet? I have not.
I have only seen pictures,
Okay.
but I also work in the financial district of Chicago, very close to a Federal Reserve Bank. So I have a lot of feelers out there, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I should be able to get them pretty quick.
I was going to say, shouldn't be too long, especially for you.
Well, I was told by our intern yesterday that he could get me some.
Ooh, there you go.
So, yeah.
Nice.
So, this is an interesting 4-year program that will lead us up to the semi-quincentennial in 2026.
Say that 3 times fast.
There will not be a buffer year like the bicentennial.
Oh, so it's all coming in one shot, right?
Correct. So, you know, during the bicentennial, they made 1974 quarters, halves, and dollars for a year and a half. They made them into July of 75, and then in July of 75, they started making the bicentennial stuff with the dual date. This year, you know, the Mint has gotten so adept at changing designs and changing everything over that now they can do it, you know, as the year changes.
Right.
They'll have 2025 coins, and the 2026 coins will be semi-quincentennial. That's twice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. One more.
So, so this goes to the correction, right? I had misrepresented in previous newscast that this is a state program, and it's not. And there will only be 20 women in this program.
Huh. Well, there you go.
So unlike, you know, I noticed that they moved the date back around to, you know, the side with George on it, right? But I thought that that was pretty much it and that they would continue afterwards. That is not the case. The Mint has already begun planning a new program for 2027, and if I recall correctly, it will be themed in youth sports.
Okay. I mean, that might be a fun way to get kids involved, you know, especially kids that like to play sports, you know. They have their soccer quarter or, you know, okay. I might be able to get on board with that. We'll see. We'll see how convoluted it gets.
Yeah, they're widgets.
Yeah.
But I mean, do you like first off, do you like this women's series? Do you like the idea of honoring women?
Well, of course.
Of course.
Sure. Why not? We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for women, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I will say that the new obverse of George Washington looks rather interesting. Somebody pointed out in the Friends of the Coin Show group that it looks like George Washington has one of the face huggers from Alien on the back of his head.
Yeah, I did notice that was one of the funnier comments. But
I lost it.
Did you know? And here's where I think a lot of people are not really clued into it yet. That particular Washington design is familiar to you because you've seen it before.
Oh yes.
It's from the Washington commemorative that was made in what, 92? The gold Washington commemorative.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But more importantly, it was designed by Laura Garden Frazier,
right,
which is a woman. And so both, you know, the obverse design with George Washington on it will still honor a woman.
I like it. I mean, the design is cool. I like the design. So I'm kind of. I want to see
face
one.
hugger, though.
It does. It really does. I want to see one though. I want to get one in my hand.
Yes. You know, I've seen pictures of them on Facebook. They look just as you'd expect them to, and they're basing just a little bit more like coins of recent vintage have been.
Wow, cool.
The Mint has also announced that a limited number of Silver Eagle proof enrollments remain. Now, these will be for the W Mint proofs.
Okay.
The enrollments for the S Mint proofs and the burnished uncirculated coins are already gone.
Okay. I never did get this enrollment program. I mean, it's just like a subscription program. You just get them shipped every year, and that's it.
I like the enrollment programs because they help the average collector to be sure that they can own one of these coins every year for their collection,
Sure.
without having to survive the Hunger Games scenario that they've created, on the website, right?
Yeah, right.
So that, I think, is a good thing. But my thought on it is, okay, so that's a good idea.
All right.
Now, who does it benefit? Does it benefit the flippers, or does it benefit the collectors? Well, only when they limit the mintage. So I just don't understand why if they're being sold in advance, why do they have to be limited?
Yeah, I mean that's true. They already know how many that they've sold. It seems to be fairly simple.
It's not like this is the only ones that they're going to make. They're
Right.
going to make these and others, but they're going to ship the subscriptions first. So, look, if you're one of these, if you're one of these people that really want to have it, you should be able to get on the subscription list and fill out your Silver Eagle collection.
Well,
every year.
hopefully, but it said that the W's are sold out, right? Or filled for subscription.
The burnished uncirculated W's, those enrollments are sold out.
Okay.
The S Mint Proofs, those enrollments are sold out.
Okay.
But it's just the enrollments.
Sure,
So
you can
they
still
will
get
actually,
one, but you just can't.
Right, they'll mint more,
Okay.
but why are you limiting the mintage on them?
I mean, who knows? Who really knows?
Well, and therein lies my question, and what I say is, so who benefits from that?
I mean, but it's not necessarily a very small number of limited. I mean, they're going to make 300,000 or 400,000 coins, no matter what, because they always do.
And I think they have probably better than 50,000 subscriptions.
Yeah, I mean, it's
So why not run 150,000 subscriptions?
It's a good question. Maybe they don't want to mess with it. Maybe they're not capable of handling handling that kind of thing. I don't really know. I mean, it's a good question.
Hashtag Dear US Mint.
Dear U.S. Mint.
Well, this is something for the new director to take up.
We'll see.
It's like I said, I like the idea of the enrollment programs. They help the collector, but they help the average collector more when they're not limited.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Staying with the Mint has announced pricing for the Purple Heart Hall of Honor commemoratives. Now, unsurprisingly, they will be the same as the pricing for the Negro Leagues Hall of Fame coins.
Which is kind of standard for the Mint
Right.
and their commemorative issues.
Right. But in addition, the Purple Heart coins will have a colorized silver dollar with a limited mintage of 25,000 pieces.
I think it's a cool looking design, really. Like, I'm not against that design. I think it's neat.
I think it's the star of this entire group.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the look of that coin, especially with that colorized purple area. Because I don't know, have you ever seen a Purple Heart in person? Like, have you ever got one in your hand?
No.
The purple is really what makes those things pop. They really, as somebody that collects old military stuff as well, they really do pop. That purple is just, that shade of purple is really cool, and it looks really nice in the enamel. So, they really did kind of capture that pretty well in the coin, at least from this mock-up, because that color is very, 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 very close to the color they use. So I'd like to see if it comes out.
This one's going to be another hot mess because they're only making 25,000 of them.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Right. And this one's going to be $95.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's going to be no discounts available for it whatsoever.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing. Don't
Yeah.
discount it for anybody.
25,000, they're not going to have to. It's going to sell out in a minute and a half.
Yeah, right. I think it probably will too. I would buy one of these. I don't really like modern stuff, but I would buy one.
There you go. I think that the appeal of this is going to be really, really broad. I think that 25,000, you could have sold 250,000 of them.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what the capability is for making these because of the colorized version of it.
Is this the first colorized coin from the Mint?
No, they did the basketball coin.
Oh, you're right. You're right. See, I that basketball $50, the one. Yep, you're right. So second colorized coin from the Mint.
Yeah.
Cool.
So moving on from Mint news, PCGS has reclassified the Fuji Cent as a regular issue federal coin.
I saw this. How interesting. Because it was done kind of like as a contract almost from the really early government
Really
contract.
glad that you knew that piece of history, the contract part, because a lot of people don't really
Yeah.
think about it. So this is really important to note. This, I think, the teachable moment about this. And also think it's something that could be argued, right? But it has to be understood that the U.S. federal government of 1776 to 1788 is a completely different government than the one that we have today.
Correct.
So the states could coin their own money under the Articles of Confederation, and the entry of the federal government into the manufactured coins was done due to necessity. It was one of the things about our initial government that would be completely overhauled under the new Constitution when they did that in 1789.
Yes.
The U.S. Mint was established in 1793. So these are pre-mint and, in fact, were struck under contract by a private mint.
I really like these coins, by the way.
Oh, they're beautiful, and the design is cool. Benjamin Franklin designed the obverse, didn't he?
Yeah.
Or did he design both sides?
I think I know both sides were utilized on the continental currency. I'm not necessarily sure if Franklin designed it or not, but I know
he was the one that proposed the sundial and the mind your business.
it's entirely possible. Yeah, I don't know that particular bit of history, and I don't want to. It would not surprise me if that was the case. Yeah. I like these coins because the symbolism, the chain, the chain that went later on to be on the continental dollar coin. Have you ever seen one of those? Those are really cool too.
Yes. They have the names or the abbreviations of the states in the rings.
Yes, they do. Yep. So there's a lot of really cool symbolism in this coin for early America, and it really comes across as kind of pointed when it says "mind your business." Like get out of my face, mind your business.
Well, I don't think they meant it in that way back in that time. It's it's kind of like what I think might be lost on some people is the symbolism of the coin being that these are the states are linked together.
Yes.
But it is that the states are sovereign.
Yes.
And they were just associated together in a loosely confederated government. That's what was going on, and we kind of figured out that really didn't work all that well.
But then they continued to use that same symbolism on the continental coins and currency. Yeah. So yeah.
No, absolutely.
Super cool coin. I love those things, and I'm glad, and that just goes to show you guys that this coin minted in 1787 took until 2022 before it was actually recognized that it was a federal issue coin.
Well, okay, but then I've got this argument for you.
Go for it. Shoot.
All right, they're talking about the Massachusetts coppers and the New Jersey coppers. Okay, and they were made before before this Fuji Cent.
Yeah.
But you also had the what was the other? You also had the
old age catching up with you there, friend.
It is. No, what was the other copper that was being made at that time? There was the Fujio, there was the
Vermontesium, the Vermont,
the New Jersey, the Massachusetts, and there was one other copper that was being made. I think it's in the story.
Oh, is it? I didn't even look. My guess is it would be the Vermont. The Nova Constellation.
The Novas. That's what I was trying to remember. So yes, I did have an old person moment. So if the Fujios are regular issue, then what are the Novas?
I would not be surprised if other pieces of that era get reclassified. It would not surprise me.
Well, and I think the Nova is predating the Fujio.
Sure.
And so there would be, it's like, yeah, they reclassified this as a regular issue federal coin, but if you're going to include this as a federal coin, then I think the Nova has to be included as a federal coin.
Well, it's entirely possible that this is just the beginning. There's going to be others.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot else back before that isn't minted by a state. And so I see their argument for saying, okay, this is the first federal coinage.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's from our first government.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Yeah, I like it.
America's Hat has introduced a new 5-ounce silver coin series.
Okay.
So this series will feature the designs of Canada's circulating coinage within the design of the larger coin.
Okay, so it's like a coin in a coin. Got it.
So the coin design will be set in engraved only art, making for a design contrast between the two. It's my understanding from the article that the engraved art will expound upon the original designs. So this year's coin is
I
going to
see.
be the dime with blue nose, which is a
A
famous
famous
racing,
schooner.
famous racing schooner, and the accompanying art, that is engraved only, is C.
Oh, that's cool because
I
if you
think
look, it actually fills in the rest of what was going on around that dime. Basically, the design of the dime. It shows the ship off in the distance and these guys rowing towards it and the birds in the sky. But the two pieces actually fit together. That's cool.
yes. And I'm interested to see what happens when they get to the quarter because you got a moose.
Yeah, maybe
What are
there'll
you gonna do
be
with that?
a bear
And you get your
chasing.
beaver on a log on your nickel.
Yeah, yeah,
So I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the nature series
yeah.
brings.
That's cool. It's outside the box. It's not something I've ever seen before. So I kind of like that. Sure.
So speaking of outside the box and something you've never seen before, the New Zealand Mint
Yeah.
has released a set of 8 pop culture coins for 2022.
Okay.
So 2 will be struck like regular round coins.
Okay.
One with a Harry Potter golden snitch theme,
Okay.
and the other with a Matrix Neo stopping bullets theme.
Okay.
Now the rest of them are more like chibis.
Wow, those are. I'm sitting here scrolling through them. Those
So
are
there's a Batman,
strange.
there's a samurai, there's Boba Fett, there's Grogu in his hover pram.
Baby Yoda.
And isn't that Baby Yoda? Isn't Grogu Baby Yoda?
Yeah, his name's Grogu, but yeah, Baby Yoda. Everybody calls him
Didn't know.
Baby Yoda.
Pennywise the Clown, and Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy from Star Trek.
I
Chibis,
mean,
chibis, chibis.
yeah, but it's cross culture. There are people that like those. I can't fault them for making those. Just
Okay, you're going to say cross culture. I'm going to say spraying to all fields.
yeah, well, that's true. But you know what? I'm telling you, my kids love them some Star Wars. So if I get them a Amanda, a
go,
Boba Fett,
Baby Yoda.
and a Baby Grogu coin, dude, they're gonna freak out.
They would.
So because my kids love coins too, so they're gonna be,
No. Most of these coins
Maybe I
have a
will.
mintage of only 2,000,
ooh,
except for Batman at 5,000 and Baby Yoda at 10,000.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I can see Baby Yoda being very popular.
Well, I can see several of them being very popular.
Yeah,
But I do agree with the, here's the thing, the Boba Fett's only 2,000.
yeah, that might be your sleeper, especially with that new show on Disney Plus right now.
Yeah, there you go. The Mandalorian.
Yeah. Well, there's the Book of Boba Fett too, if you're into that
Oh,
Star Wars world.
It's not that I'm not into it. It's that I'm not into Disney Plus.
Well, yeah, I'm into it. My kids are into it. We watch it together. I grew up with Star Wars, back in the day, and now there's all this new Star Wars
The
stuff. And
original one.
well, yeah. Your
I
generation
still
ahead
have
of me.
never seen the second movie.
I'm
I've
episode
never-
1, 2, and 3. You're episode 4, 5, and 6. My kids,
I've
they
never seen episode 5.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. Wow. We can't be friends anymore, by the way. What's the next story?
Australia continued the tradition of striking coins as soon as the new year starts.
Okay.
So the first coins of 2022 were struck January 1st, again before anybody else had a chance. This year's theme is Dinosaurs Down Under.
Crikey.
And the coins were struck upon the stroke of midnight by who? Dorothy the dinosaur.
Okay,
Who
question.
might not be familiar to many Americans, but if you have kids, there's a show that I'm sure has churned your stomach more than a couple of times, and that's with the Aussie act, The Wiggles.
Yes, don't get me started about the Wiggles. So I'm sitting here looking at the picture of these guys, and it shows the coin, and it shows a dinosaur. It says "Dinosaurs Down Under," except at the top, is that the name of the dinosaur? Australovenator.
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 Yeah, now I can tell you that I know somebody and that's his nickname.
Yeah, I
But-
was gonna say.
Yeah.
My friend
I mean,
Nick from
it
Australia.
does not sound like a. It doesn't sound like a dinosaur to me.
No,
but-
not at all.
So according to the Coin Update article, the focus of the new 2022 dated coins features Australopithecus, which simply means southern hunter and is a genus of Megaraptora theropod dinosaurs of the late Cretaceous age and dated to 95 million years ago. Dinosaur discoveries of the Australian continent date back to the first fossils found in the state of Victoria in 1903, and the fossil featured on the coins is the most complete predatory dinosaur fossil remains discovered in Australia. Since then, dinosaur fossils have been found all over Australia, including Queensland, New South Wales, and Western Australia.
Yeah. Cool. That's cool. That's neat.
Now I'm going to go for the coup de grace.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. ANA scholarship applications are being accepted through March 11th.
Okay.
So Coin Week is reporting that applications for the Jerome Walton Memorial Scholarship provided by the ANA are being accepted through March 11th.
And this is for a scholarship to the summer seminar, correct?
No, this is a scholarship that can be used for tuition, books, or supplies directly related to class requirements. Up to 2 scholarships may be awarded annually.
Nice.
Students with a full class schedule who maintain a B average throughout their higher education can receive the $1,000 scholarship for up to 4 years. So
cool.
If you win the scholarship and you keep up your grades, you win it again for the next year, up to 4 years.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
All for just being a numismatist. And
just for being a numismatist. And look, my kids all looked at colleges, and I told them, I said, apply for every single scholarship you can get your hands on.
Right.
It's just free money.
Yeah.
This is no exception.
Yeah. Cool.
CAC has created a new coin forum for collectors.
I saw this. I haven't had a chance to peruse it yet. I am a member, but I haven't had a lot of time to get in there and kind of hunt around. So, but I did see it that it came.
I'm always happy to see new educational forums pop up.
Sure.
But I also know that certain forums can be kind of hostile environments for posters as well.
Well, I mean, you get the guys that are going to be on the CAC forum are going to be your hardcore guys. I mean, people that are into CAC coins, they understand what it is, and a lot of the times they're going to be the guys that either submit a lot of coins to CAC or have a lot of CAC coins in their collection. So they're gonna, there's going to be some pretty.
But you're also going to get a fair amount of people that are going to be newbies and amateurs that have, quote, dumb questions.
There's no such
and
thing.
They're going to be barbecued if that type of personality, develops on this forum like it has on other.
I was just getting ready to say there's been forums for 20 years now, 25 years maybe, and it's always kind of been that way. You just gotta.
Well, but I think that it largely depends on the way the community managers run it.
I was just getting ready to say that.
How they police the sometimes less than friendly banter. So,
yes.
We are here because of a forum.
Yeah,
Coin
that's
Talk.
true. That's right.
And I will say that, Coin Talk's been around for 20...
Yeah, long time.
20 years. It's been around for almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
And we've been around for most of that time, but it's always been policed, and it's always been be nice, or be gone.
Yeah, right.
And it's probably the only coin forum like that where people have to watch their tongue, they have to watch their manners.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a good thing.
Yeah. Oh, of course. I mean, yeah, you don't want to. If you're running a coin forum, you don't want the Wild West. You want it to be, you want it to be friendly. And safe, yeah. Get kids involved.
I'm hopeful that CAC forum may be a good educational place for, for other collectors, for younger collectors.
I hope so as well, because there is going to be a lot of experienced people there. A lot of guys that know their stuff. So hopefully they will, share that knowledge.
Well, yeah, you'd hope so. I mean, the thing about CAC is that the level of the conversation that's going to take place there should focus largely on the details rather than photographs.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Cool.
So
But
that
I'm
kind of
gonna.
stuff can really teach you a lot. The photographs, it's tough to grade from photographs, and they are gonna have an issue with that, with people going, well, what do you think about this? What do you
Right.
think of this? What do you think of
Is
this?
this gonna get a CAC sticker? Well,
Yeah.
there's a
Well, this
lot of
cat,
coins out
well,
there that you can't
yeah,
tell
I
anything
can't
about
tell
from a
from your
picture.
picture. I mean, everything looks like a cameo on eBay.
Yes. Yeah. No joke. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna poke around in there. Maybe in another episode or two, we'll talk about it again and see if I can garner anything from what I read in there.
Our friend Jack Young warns us about a counterfeit 19OS quarter in a PCGS holder.
I saw this story, and
Now,
I
it's funny that we discussed on episode 197 the 1901S quarter, and it's pretty straightforward to authenticate due to the low mintage and subsequent use of only two obverse and two reverse dies.
right.
But it's just so it's like the radio on Gilligan's Island. It's like we talk about it, and boom, there it is.
Yeah, that's funny. But I mean, that stuff exists. These coins, yeah, they're fairly simple, and Jack does a really good job of showing us in the story here, the best ways to authenticate these coins, and he shows us what he is talking about as far as the different changes in design, over the different dates, and also the way the date aligns with the denticles. That's the important part.
Yeah.
So.
You remember when Beth Deisher wrote her book, and I said it was a godsend. I really did, and I meant it.
Yes.
It's the book is an absolute blessing. I think that what Jack is doing is that same type of work.
It really is.
Do. I think it's important, and I think it's something that keeps people honest, and it points out that not even PCGS is right all the time.
But I will tell you, I actually had an experience with one of the grading companies here recently where I sent them back a coin that was not genuine in one of their holders. And I was, I presented my evidence that I had that says, hey guys, this coin's not real. And they looked at my evidence and they said, yeah, we agree with you. And where can we send the check? So, there is at least that guarantee that the grading companies have that, if your coin is not genuine and found to be the case in their holder, they will buy it. So they at least
their guarantees are good, and that's why you have the top two,
right,
and you have everybody else.
Right, and not everybody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Graders aren't perfect. There's nobody that's perfect out there. It happens. So the fact that they own those mistakes, literally, should give you confidence in what they're doing, even if they mess up every once in a while, which does happen.
No, I absolutely agree. And finally in the news.
This is my favorite news story of the news, by the way.
Speaking of Nova Constellados, there is a new star in the constellation of podcasts.
That's good. I like that.
Okay, thank you. Well, it was either that or go for the Baby Yoda reference, and
one of the two of you looks like Baby Yoda, and I'm not going to say which.
Right. No, I won't say which one either. But yeah, so there is a new podcast in town. Aaron Burke, I think he's president of Harlan J. Burke Limited.
But more importantly, he's your boss.
Well, he is my boss, and
yes.
He decided he wanted a podcast about ancient coins, which I have always thought was a really good idea. So what we decided to do was, since I know something about podcasting and he knows a lot about ancient coins, we decided to get our things together.
Put your two wonderful heads together.
He's going to teach me about ancient coins, and I'm going to put my learning process out there for the world to see.
It's cool. I love it.
So, for me, it's exposure from the standpoint of, look, here's a way for everybody else to learn it. And we have the podcasts are going to be available on the Harlan Burke website at hjbltd.com. They're available on Aaron Burke's YouTube page, as well as if you go to ancientcoinpodcast.com, it will forward you to the page on our site where you can go and you can listen to the Ancient Coin Podcast. We've done 4 episodes so far. We really kind of wanted it to be like a 20-minute, 30-minute thing.
And of course it's not, right?
It just, for whatever reason, it just doesn't work out that way.
I know exactly
so it ends
why.
Up being about an hour. And
I know why, but I'm not going to say it.
Well, and I will tell you that it is a completely different experience than this.
Right.
So it's more like a classroom, a high level classroom, because there's conversation, it's back and forth, and I'm pointing things out, and he's teaching me, and in the way that he teaches me, it's something where you can learn about ancient coins, and I think that I had no real interest in ancient coins when I started working at Harlem Burke, but when you've got three of the world's greatest experts on the subject, and you've got all this stuff around,
Yeah.
it's like, why would you not take advantage of that opportunity? And so now I can't say I'm like, really kind of going to the dark side of it, but they're interesting me, and I'm starting to pick some things up about them.
Well,
And
you're definitely learning about them.
oh, I have been absolutely hardcore on history over the past month and a half, learning, more of the history of Europe and those empires, because that's really where the story of all this stuff comes from.
Right. My favorite part. Do you guys still do the pronunciation part?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So we call it wordplay. And so he gives me he gives me an emperor or a ruler, and it's up to me to pronounce it. I have gotten them all right so far.
No way.
Yeah, well, I mean, he hasn't really he did not start me out with like Antoninus Pius. Right. I mean, that's one of the harder ones, and now I know about it, so I won't be. So that's kind of the thing,
He's gonna start dropping some of the towns, some of the Greek towns on you. That'll be fun.
Yes. No, absolutely, and so we do that. If you go to, we have a Facebook group, and on there we often do a "Can you say it?" And then
I would
I'll
fail
do a
miserably at all of
pronunciation.
them. I would. So, no, cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so excited for you guys, and I am glad that somebody is doing that, because I have always wanted to cover ancients, but I'm just not confident enough in ancients to present them in a way that would be educational. So this is great. I love this.
Tell you what, I'm learning that the two worlds, although similar, are completely different.
Oh, for sure.
The
Yeah.
criteria are different. The way that people collect them are different. It's just everything is different. And the biggest problem with ancient coins is being able to own them because of so many claims of property.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
So shameless plug, Ancient Coin Podcast with Aaron Burke. Check it out.
You won't be disappointed.
Well, you might, but I won't.
That's good. And
this episode of the Coin Show Podcast is brought to you by snow, covering up the ugliness of winter in a blanket of pure white, then gray, then just wet snow.
Well, friend, do you want to see what's going on with our listeners, people that are watching the show live? Let's see if we have any questions.
Absolutely.
I would love to. Let me scroll around a little.
Questions we've got.
I know there were some that went by earlier. If you guys have any, feel free to ask them now.
Joe Bohannon says, I'm curious if this means a Fuji Cent will be required for a typeset.
Ooh, that's a good question. I wonder if the new albums won't have a slot for those.
Probably not, because it's federal coinage, not U.S. coinage.
But does the front of the typeset book say federal coinage typeset? No, it says U.S. coin typeset.
You're right. It does say U.S. type coins.
I bet it should. At least it should if it doesn't. So
well, it should, but that's never really. Look, when you start getting back into the 18th century, that's when coins start getting hard to find, and a lot of people just draw the line and say, look, I can't collect that.
Yeah. Let's go. I'm going to hit back to the question that we saw at the beginning of the show before we started. Randy Lopez asked, I just had my first crossover submission to PCGS returned as DNC, which means do not cross. One was an NGC holder and the other in an annex holder, both graded MS63 from those services. From now on, I guess I'll crack the coins out of the holders and submit as raw. What is your advice regarding cracking out the DNC submissions and resubmitting as raw? I submit a lot of stuff, and I can tell you that I do not. I very, very, very rarely send coins in for crossover. I don't know if it's just the feeling that I don't. They say they don't look at them, and I don't have any reason to believe that they don't look at them. But just something in my head says, why would I send it in already graded? They're not going to want to bump it a grade. I just don't feel like unless it's a super super expensive coin. Um, that matters if it's out of the holder. I take everything out if I'm sending it back in. If I think it's undergraded, it comes out of the holder and I send it raw. That's just how I do, and that's just a personal thing. Other people have had opposite experiences and more experience shipping stuff in the other way. But I would say 99.5% of the coins we send in go in raw.
Well, there's a lot of people who play the crackout game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a new thing.
And it is a thing. I mean, you find coins that were graded 20 years ago when grading standards were different than they are now. You can definitely get a higher grade. It's just how it is.
Crossover service, and I understand that with Annex you can't do this, but with NGC coins, you just send them to CAC.
Yeah,
because if they get the CAC sticker, chances are they're going to be okay.
I had to explain that to one of my customers the other day that he had a coin that was in an NGC holder with a CAC sticker, and he wanted to send it to PCGS for cross, and I said, why? What's the point? It's already in an NGC with a CAC sticker. It would have a CAC sticker if it was in a PCGS holder. What's the difference? And for him, it was a registry set difference, which I get. Okay, that makes sense. But for most people, if it's got the CAC sticker, it doesn't really matter to me, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what you expect. It's like if it CACs, then that's kind of like a crossover by itself.
Yeah, I value the CAC sticker more than I do the grading company in most cases. Between the two,
their dealers do as well.
Yeah, between the two grading companies, to me it doesn't really matter as long as it has a CAC sticker. That says more about it to me than which holder it's in.
David Platt asks, what coin type would you say is the most underrated?
Ooh, you want to take that one, Mike? I don't really know.
Sure. If I were to give a coin type that's underrated, 3-cent nickel pieces.
Yeah.
Completely underrated. Fascinating coins, cool clashes. There's all kinds of things to collect in it, and yet nobody cares, which means that you can pick them up for next to nothing.
And it's a fun denomination, short-lived denomination.
It's not a big series. They're all made in Philadelphia.
Yeah. I could say that's probably a good answer.
I think it's when you say the word underrated.
Sure.
Now undervalued is a different story because I don't think they're valuable.
Not necessarily.
But I think that they're definitely worth collecting.
And they don't have huge mintages. I mean, they're not gigantic. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for the kind of the most bang for your buck and underrated, that's probably a pretty darn good answer.
Very own Justin Irvin. Matt, are you sending anyone to ANA Summer Seminar this year? If so, what classes do you have your employees take?
I should. I haven't decided quite yet. We have a new guy who I want to get some more hours in with just so I can see if there's any classes that might be beneficial for him to take. So far, he's killing it, and we've put him through the gauntlet and the trial by fire and whichever other fun phrases you can think of for beating the heck out of somebody at a new job, but we've done it, and he's shining. So I'm not sure. I would like to. I'm just not sure.
I am going to go to Summer Seminar.
Are you?
I am.
Oh, what class are you going to take, Mike?
Of course, we're going to take grading 1 and 2.
Yep, done those.
Because I've never been to Summer Seminar. So if you're going to start with anything,
yes,
that's I think the best place to start.
I still to this day take some of the lessons that I learned in those classes and use them and teach them to other people, customers, employees, whoever.
So. It's funny after about maybe 3 months in my new job, right? So we're talking a couple of years ago, but about 3 months into it. The store manager kind of pointed out something to me. He's like, you do this for a living now. You can't give me collector stuff anymore. You can't give me collector attitude, collector excuses. You do this for a living now.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, I understand. So I have worked at becoming better at what I do, and I think where the biggest improvement can always be made is in grading, particularly for me, because history I'm pretty good with. I have a general grasp of it. I think I have a fairly decent eye as far as coins go, picking stuff out. We had a collection come in this week that was all slabbed,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the key date coins has a scratch. It goes right across the front, and it's slabbed, and the scratch is starting to tone.
Huh. Really?
But the funny thing is it's like I was the first one to catch it.
Huh.
Nobody else caught it.
Well, there you go.
So
You got the
I have-
kudos, the high
I'm
five.
getting there. I'm getting there. It's definitely it's getting better.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. I saw one more question I think I wanted to hit, and if you have any more, you're more than welcome to.
There's quite a few of them here.
I see that Greg Lynn said, "What are your opinions on the 2021 Morgan and Peace Towers? Good or bad idea?" Well, I'll tell you what. Talk about a meteoric fall in value across the board would be the majority of the 2021 silver dollar releases. The only coins that really seemed to hold on at all were the Carson City and the 21 Peace Dollar. The rest of them are at issue price or maybe trading a little less now, which I don't want to say I called it, but I did kind of call that one. Because I went for the first two coins, which was the Carson City, and then the what was the other? The San Francisco, the Carson City and the San Francisco. After that, I punched out. I didn't buy any more. I didn't get good feeling about the series, the hype for it, and it kind of. I mean, that's good if you want to collect them. Now they're definitely back to very attainable levels, and they aren't going for $500 like they were the Carson Cities there for a little while. And Gray Sheet did put out their bids on them a couple weeks ago. Did you notice that?
No, I haven't seen that because
Yep.
I haven't gotten the brand new gray sheet yet.
Yep. They put out the bids. The Carson Cities are bid at $120. So
You know what? Look, the coins would have done better had they had a better finish.
Yeah.
And maybe this year, when they bring out the 2022s, which they say they're going to do, they said that they're going to do a proof finish. Now, do I like the idea of a proof Morgan? Yes. Do I like the idea of a proof Peace Dollar? Absolutely. Does this have the potential to be a monumental train wreck? Absolutely, it's the U.S. Mint.
Yeah, the first series was kind of sort of a train wreck. I mean, with the first two coins being a limit of 10 per household.
It was a layup. It was an absolute layup. And they messed up the surfaces.
Yep.
So they just don't look right. They don't. The Peace Dollar looks fine. And that's why the Peace Dollar did okay. And the CC, anything with the CC on it just is magic. And that's just the way it works.
Yeah. Other than that, they were junk. The Denvers were terrible. The quality control was horrendous on the Denver coins. They were bad. I don't know how many of them you got to put your hands on. They were
I have
all
put my
ugly.
hands on quite a few, and I have yet to come across a bad one.
Really?
So I've been really lucky. Yeah, I've
probably
yet to come across a bad one.
50.
Every single one of them has been just absolutely perfect.
I went through probably 50 of them, and probably 40 of them had issues. So, I don't know. Yeah. That's my answer to that question. Let's see what else we got going on here.
We have Kyle Dugan.
Kyle,
Thoughts on this year's Royal Mint releases?
do you know anything about the Royal Mint releases? I know Kyle does, and that's great.
What I've seen of the Royal Mint releases, I've seen mostly due to Numistacker.
Yes.
So Russell does these really nice videos on the stuff that's coming out. Everything though that I've seen has been like the Gothic crowns and stuff are really cool. They're nice looking coins. They're really pretty, but they're way overpriced. So have you ever seen a Gothic crown?
In person?
Yeah, I mean,
Like
do
an
you know
original?
what they
Sure.
look like?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, they have kind of a cross design on them, And I mean, they're really intricate and they're very cool. And
Yes.
they made them in silver and they made them in gold. But I mean, the prices on them are just, I mean, I think they have a 10 ounce.
Yeah.
I mean, who can afford a 10 ounce gold coin?
Well, I mean, there are people out there that would buy that stuff, but
There are people out there that do buy that stuff,
that's true.
and that's the stuff that the Royal Mint is releasing. So, that's
Good for them. Hey, if they can make it and they can make money on it, good on them. That's awesome. So,
and then let's see. I think we have one more.
all right.
Stephen Mayer says, or Meyer, not sure which. I've heard the mint will again mint Morgan dollars in 2022. Do you know if they will make the 5 different mints again or just one version? That has yet to be said. They've barely said that they're going to make them again this year.
Yeah.
They've said that they're going to do them in proof this year. I sincerely don't see them making 5 Morgan dollars again. And to be really honest with you, I don't see the relevance in making a 2022 Morgan.
No, I don't either. Just make the peace dollar. Make a bunch of the peace dollars.
Make the peace dollar. Make it. It was a popular coin already.
Yeah.
So make the peace dollar. Make it in proof. Make it. You want to mess with surfaces. You want to do reverse proof next year. You want to. I get that. That's all cool.
Yeah.
You can keep doing that, and you can run this thing. You can beat this horse to death.
Yeah.
And I think that there's plenty of ride there left to take.
Yeah.
There really is.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree. Well, sir, you ready?
So that was listener questions.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out and participating.
This leads to our really favorite part of this whole thing.
Yeah, I'm fond of this part of the show. I always like when we do this segment because it is. I literally see something every time we do this that I've never seen before, and that is why I love it so much. So, let's check out your coolest things. Ed Anderson's up first. Looks like he posts a Byzantine Maurice Tiberius 40 Numi, 14th regional year, 596 AD, from the Antioch Mint. Just got it in from Beirut last week. So this is a Byzantine bronze coin. I forget the size of these things. So 40 Numi, that's probably one of the larger size ones, probably roughly the size of an American half dollar. So yeah, a neat piece, Maurice Tiberius.
Oh, don't look now, Matt, but you're flexing your ancient muscles.
Oh, I'm not flexing anything. I'm just reading, my friend. I know enough to be dangerous, mostly to myself, when it comes to ancient coins. So
yeah, a lot of the Byzantine stuff features Christ rather than featuring rulers.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yep. Joshua Wright, little 2-gram silver piece he got from a shop. So this is 2 grams of 999 fine silver.
Cool. That looks like
definitely different.
I don't know if that's a new mintage or not. It looks interesting that it's. Sometimes you see vintage stuff that kind of has that cool older looking design. So then Joshua also goes on to say, actually got this one free when a bank had to open up the coin machine. So sweet for me. Looks like an 1896 Morgan dollar. That's pretty cool. Somebody dropped that in a coin machine, though. Yikes.
Jody Dotson, my Hawaii set, ranked 20th on the PCGS registry.
I love Hawaiian coins. I love these coins. They're so cool. Have you ever had I really enjoy the cents. I think the cents are super neat. Just from that forward-facing view. You're so used to seeing profile views on coins to actually have this forward-facing of King Kamehameha is pretty darn cool.
I saw my first Hawaii set.
That's not Kamehameha. That's the other king. I can't remember his name.
No. You're right. The forward-facing is Kamehameha.
Is it? Oh.
Yes. So I saw my first Hawaii set this week.
Really?
In person. Yes. I'd never seen one in person. So the other king is I can't even pronounce it, but he is the one that is in profile on the four regular coins, 1883. The 1847 is Kamehameha.
Oh, cool. There you go.
Yeah. So very, very cool coins. the set that I saw this week, the Kamehameha coin, had an old ANA cardboard grading cert.
Oh, the old photo grade stuff.
The seal.
Yeah, those are cool.
Oh my, is that cool? And it has to be sold with the coin.
Oh yeah, of course. You got to keep those together, even if it's in a new
Absolutely
holder.
has to be sold with the coin.
Even if it's in a new
these are
slab.
really, really cool, and not cheap either.
Oh, looks like your boss is flexing his photo editing skills.
Yes.
He said, "Love this set." Wait, what did it say? Love this set we got. Looks like a nice group of bust half dollars with some fancy schmancy photo editing going on there. Good job.
We
Aaron.
took in a bunch of bust halves over the past month, and I have learned much about grading these coins.
They're not
and,
easy, are they?
No, they're not, but they're pretty straightforward at least.
Yeah, fairly
You know,
so.
the cool thing about it is that the ones that you're looking at are all screw press coins.
Sure.
And so I actually got kudos from the grading of these because we had a coin that everybody graded as VG, and I got them to change their mind to VF.
Yeah.
And it was because of the stars were actually really strong, but the details in the center of the coin were just completely lost. And it's
A
like,
game.
that's a strike issue. That's not a
Right.
that's
A game
not
I always play with our employees at the office when we get bust halves in is called Striker Wear,
Right.
and you kind of have to know, almost down to the die pairs on some of these dates to tell, because certain die pairs are just struck like pancakes and they didn't have any design even to begin with. So, getting some of these things and figuring out, if your coin has wear or if it's actually just struck like junk, is a fun little game in itself. So cool.
Yeah, I mean, they used these dies until they cried for mercy.
And then they use them a little more.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Joe Bohannon just back from PCGS, second year of the O Mint Double Eagle XF45. Oh, nice. 1851 O $20 gold piece in PCGS XF45. Very, very nice.
Yeah, double eagles from the New Orleans Mint pre-Civil War.
Yep. Dave, sold off a ton of random coins to fund the purchase of this colorful pan pack. So he bought himself a really nice looking 1915 Panama Pacific commemorative half dollar. Really
Wonderful.
one of my favorite commem designs. I really am fond of these. They're hard to find without problems. For some reason, pan pack halves are all messed up, and this one looks nice. So.
Actually, it looks like it's in an old NGC holder.
Yeah, I think it is. I've done business with Dave. I know he likes nice coins. So very, very cool. Good to see.
Yeah. Lots of color on this coin and attractive color too.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Pan packs do come with color. Again, I'm not quite sure why. Just the way they were stored, probably. I mean, obviously, but I'm not sure if they were issued with something that caused them to tone. But you do see a lot of pan packs with color. So interesting.
Our very own Ernesto Aguilar. Fang das Glück.
What is that? Austrian mint.
Yeah, it's well, I'm not really sure because I don't read German.
It's
I mean, it's cool looking. It's a specially struck coin for 2022. €5.
Is it
silver.
a coin?
No, there is a coin.
Yeah, I see it. I just mess with you.
And there's a heart too.
Yes. Cool coin. It looks like something that the Austrian Mint put out. It has a bird on it with a little heart. It's nice. Cool little coin.
Ron Dorland, 1865 plain 5 with clip and Snow 3.
Cool.
So I guess the Snow 3 is the reverse.
No, the Snow 3 is the die pair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and then nice clipped Indian head cent.
Nice little straight clip, and it's a real clip. You know how you can tell, guys? Check this out. So you see the clip on the top right of the coin. Well, if you look directly across from that clip, you'll see what they call the Blakesley effect, and this is from that coin when they put the rim, when they ran it through the upset mill. That area of the coin, and the upset mill is what puts the little edge around the blank planchet before they strike it. Well, when they ran that coin through the upset mill, because of that clipped area, this area directly across from it didn't get the same upsetting as the rest of the coin. So you have that little disturbance going on across from the clip, and that is how you tell that a clip is genuine. There you go.
Let's see. Justin Irvin, new notes printed by Aruba. He picked up at the fun show. These are super popular, and you can see why. They are very colorful.
Wow, they are. And they got
They're
iguanas
polymer
and
notes.
birds. And is that a squirrel? I think there's a squirrel. Oh, he posts pictures individually. Nice.
There's a guy with the middle finger. Oh, no, that's a different bird.
There's a sea turtle on one, and we have a little bird on one, and a little, like a parrot as well. It's a crab. I thought it was a squirrel. Wow, cool.
Squirrel, crab, same thing.
Yeah,
right?
they look similar in a tree.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell's on the 10.
Wow.
Isaiah Hageman, new purchase, a magician's coin that NGC slabbed as genuine.
Oh no, that's funny.
So let's see, what is it that is?
So it's a coin that's been hollowed out, by someone's. A lot of times magicians will take two coins and machine one out, and then machine another one down so that they fit together to look like a regular coin. But then they'll like put a magnet inside of it or something, and that way they can use it in a certain trick. Or they just do it. You can like put. I've seen people make them to put like micro SD cards in to hide something. I mean, just crazy stuff. But they make them for whatever reason, and it looks like NGC certified this one as a genuine error coin.
Oh, I guess the question is, did Isaiah send this one in?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him.
It's interesting to know. We need to ask the Slab King what the story is on it and how he knows that it's that it's a magician's coin.
Well, I mean, you can tell. I can see it. You can see it on the back of the coin.
The line that goes all the way around it.
Or there'll be a little line.
But if a coin is struck slightly off center, slightly, you'll get that same kind of ring.
Yeah, but you can look at it with a loop and tell.
Okay.
So.
I haven't seen this one, so I don't know.
Yep. Aaron Buck shows us a nice 82 Carson City Morgan silver dollar in a PCGS Rattler MS64 holder. So those are cool. I like those old holders. Those are some of my favorites to see when they come in the door. Gary
Smith, my set of 64 star grade 37 proofs. So these are Great Britain proofs.
Ooh.
These feature George the Sixth.
Those are cool.
So this is the first year of coinage with the new king.
Those are cool. Let's see here. Brian Bass, a beautiful high-grade AU specimen of the 1835 bus quarter Browning 5 variety, with its signature heavy die breaks that are clearly visible, late die stage. Note the original envelope from the purchase in the 1950s for $5. Cool. Look at that. That's super neat. So that you see the die cracks going across the coin. This die was basically failing at this point, but still striking coins. Goes back to what we talked about earlier with the bust halves, where they would just use them until they screamed for mercy, and then they would use them a little more. And this is a perfect example of that. As you can see that the die is basically broken and shattered at this point, and they're still striking coins with it. So super duper cool piece. I was trying to see if there's a picture of the envelope, but I don't see it. So
there is. It's actually down. Somehow Corey's coin got in the middle of this. So
they were all posted. I see it.
To the reverse, and then bus quarter type.
I see it.
$5.
Wow. There's the back of it.
So our very own Corey Scherer has always wanted a Feuchtwanger cent.
Yeah. He and I talked about this.
Yeah,
das ist gut. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he and I talked about this coin when he was thinking about buying it, and yeah, I'm glad he did. It's a nice coin. Looks really cool. Might stay.
So he says that the die pairing is a much better piece, but probably not a true R2 rarity as it's currently listed. So there is more than one.
He knows way more about that than I do, and I don't know anything about die pairings on those pieces. So, they're researchable. You can find them. I was able to confirm that what he was seeing was correct, but with some research. But yeah, super cool.
Jim Barlow, one of my kind of recent purchases, 1797 draped bust 1 cent.
Cool.
Yeah,
Sheldon 139.
Really cool coin. Sheldon 139.
Nice.
Ash Dobbs, 1795 half dollar. Can't imagine the stories this piece could tell. So this is a fair 2, but straight graded Fair 2.
An old Annex white label Fair 2.
Yeah. It's probably good now.
Nah, not with that much detail gone on the obverse.
Yeah, it's pretty slick.
It is pretty slick. The back's not bad. The back's probably closer to a good, but wow, that coin saw a lot of heavy wear, and I agree with him. If that coin could talk, it would probably have some pretty impressive stories. J.R. Preston, hey, Mike and Matt, hope the holidays were well with yins. Little Pittsburgh slang. Yeah. Love the show. Hey, thank you. We love you too.
Thank you.
I'm a huge fan of air coins. I've been collecting them for 30 plus years. This is my prized air, my double die 1955 cent CAC.
EU55.
I'm reading it as written.
But it's a 55 CAC, but it's in AU55.
Yes. He said
it's a heck of a grade.
Hoping to upgrade to a higher MS specimen in time, but owned this coin since 2017, and he just loves the story behind him. Yeah. Super cool.
This is probably when I was growing up, the 1909 SVDB was the king of U.S. coins, right?
Sure.
I think the 55 double die has kind of replaced it.
Yeah. I don't know about that. Don't know quite that would be the case. SVDBs are still super popular. Everybody likes them.
They are. Right. But have you ever seen anybody not absolutely drop their jaw when they saw a 55 double die?
Oh no, I love them as well. I just don't think they eclipse the SVDB. I was having a discussion with somebody in the office today about that, and I said, people gravitate towards the coins that they used to collect when they were kids. The Lincoln Cents, and that's like your number one, because every kid put together a blue book of Lincoln Cents. And so, I understand the appeal of this coin, but I still think that every little kid just looked at that SVDB spot on the very first page of their Lincoln book and thought, you know what, I would really like to have one of those. And, guys that are still collecting today, if they did that as a kid, I bet you most of them have really considered buying if they haven't already. So
if we had a Lincoln Wheat Cent draft, you'd go number one pick on 09 SVDB.
Oh, yeah. 09 SVDB is the top running back in the draft.
I would think that I might take the 55 double die as my number one pick. Well, but it depends.
That's because you're picking really second. That's all.
Joshua Benevetto recently added this 15 cruiser to my Hogmouth collection.
Kreutzer. I think that's how they pronounce it.
You say cruiser, I say Kreuzer.
Leopold the Hogmouth. Oh, that Habsburg chin, my friend. Wow.
And our very own Barry Swan, not the rarest piece in my collection, but probably the best looking. I bought this last week from a very knowledgeable and helpful numismatist in Chicago.
Oh, I didn't know there were any of those up there.
There aren't any.
Oh.
I wonder where the hell he went. Oh, yeah. No, I sold Barry this note. This is one of my favorites of all time. Georgia Martha on the back. The educational note with the Constitution on the right.
Yes.
That is just a sweet note.
Educational notes that whole series is my favorite U.S. currency series of all time, period. Full stop.
Susan Stahl, I know it's not an old coin, but it will be old someday. The pictures are just okay. Susan, it doesn't have to be old to be cool.
That's right. These are neat. These are super cool. These high reliefs. Cool.
Yeah, these high reliefs they're definitely underappreciated, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think that eagle's really cool. That thing looks like it's going to fly right off the coin. Yeah. Love it.
Use of negative space.
Yep. Tony O'Neill, frisky bear spinner. I've seen these before. I always thought that these were attributed to the Pan Pac Expo or maybe the California Expo in 1915. I forget if they actually determined that to be the case or not, but it's really kind of just got a little bear on it, and it says 1915.
So how would this work as a spinner?
On the backside, it has a little bitty dot or little nub, and you can actually set it on the table and spin it like a top.
So it doesn't sit flush.
Right.
I got it.
Right. Joseph Horseman, local coin shop pickup, problem-free and hard to find. Most definitely, you're right. Hard to find, problem-free.
There you go. It's the Kamehameha coin.
Yep, that's right. So yeah, these coins are hard to find problem-free because if you think about where Hawaii is, way out in the middle of the ocean, there's a lot of salty air out there, and copper and salt don't really work all that well together, especially when it's in the air. So most of the Hawaiian cents you see have corrosion issues. For
A
that,
lot of the silver ones.
yeah,
For
some
that
of the
matter.
silver coins do
They
too.
almost look like shipwreck coins
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yep. But to find these coins that actually got out of Hawaii or were tucked away somewhere safe enough that they didn't corrode, it's pretty tough. So nice coin.
Before you go on, I just wanted to say what I thought was interesting was the denominations of the Hawaiian coins. So they had $1.
Dala, yeah, DOLA.
Yeah, I think it's DALA.
DALA, that's right.
$1.
Yep. Yeah, that's cool. Brian Thatcher, I really like this coin from the Edmonton days. Now, if you don't know what the Edmonton days are, they're a giant rodeo up in Edmonton, Canada. No, that's the Calgary Stampede. I'm sorry. I was wrong.
It's okay. This is a Klondike dollar.
Yep. So Edmonton days looks like it's Klondike dollar. So this probably has to do with the gold rush up there in the Klondike day. Yeah, okay. So Klondike days.
Right. So this is Klondike days, which is probably a just kind of like fair celebration that they have yearly, where they celebrate their history and their heritage.
Yeah. Oh, look, here's
Jack Young.
Jack Young.
This one I saw the story on.
Okay.
And super, super cool.
He says, my latest coolest thing is this 1694 elephant token with an interesting history. Actually discovered by Newman and reported in 1965, this example was sold in a 2019 Stack Bowers auction as a struck copy. He was the underbidder and lost out, and already had an artificially worn example that had been certified by a third-party grading company as genuine. The Stack Bowers example was submitted to the same grading company after we had reported that the fakes came back. After we had reported the fakes, and it came back genuine and MS63. Yikes spikes. After being notified that it was not genuine, and then a copy of my CoinWeek article was CoinWeek article on these published, the grading company killed the certificate and negotiated with the submitter to return it where it was unholdered. The owner later contacted me through the article, and it has been added to his Dark Side collection, where it will be the subject of a future Dark Corner short story.
And it was.
Yes, it was.
He did that this week. It was a really, really good story.
And here's their image.
Don Ostler has a 1795 Condor token. So this one is the auctioneer.
Very cool. I've not seen that example before. There are several auctioneers that made condors, but I just never seen that one before. Cool. So it says
Jerome.
Yep.
A hold seated dollar, 1842.
I call those circular planchet defects, and I don't care what you say, that's what they are.
It was a very common practice for people to put holes in coins back then. It was a way for them to keep them.
Yeah. Up next, we have Magic Penny Shadow Face. That looks like a normal coin. Yeah.
Do not kill Muhammad's buzz.
I'm sorry, Muhammad, but that's just a normal penny, my friend. I don't see anything there that would make that coin anything besides just a regular circulated penny. But if it's new and you love it, awesome.
That's all that's important.
That's right. Malcolm McGaw, not a particularly rare coin, but interesting nonetheless. It is a 1766 5 Kreutzer from the Bosphoric of Bamberg. The obverse shows a bishop whose halo around the pointy hat was so large that the flan could not display it all. A rather large die flaw at 6 o'clock too on the obverse. Huh.
Okay.
Cool. I like these things. And the funny part about these is a lot of this stuff is not terribly expensive. It's really cool, and it's from the 1700s, and it's not all that expensive. Fun area to collect if you're thinking about something new. You might look into that kind of stuff.
Underappreciated generally means bargain.
Right. Charles Stevens says not my best, but different. That is different. Yeah, it's called a gutter fold or a printed fold. So basically, that sheet was folded when it went through the print, and then subsequently unfolded to show that there was no design there. So it is definitely a mint error and definitely made that way. I say mint error, but printing error.
And if we're going to close on a high note. We are definitely doing that this time.
All right.
Clayton Quirk, 1859 MS66 Indian head cent. It's his one and only top pop.
It's a pattern,
this coin
too.
is a monster.
It's a pattern coin. I actually pulled one of these out of a bulk lot of 59 cents I bought from a dealer one time. They didn't know it was in there. So this is a J228. This is a Judd 228 pattern, and basically this is a design pattern where the back of the coin, the composition is the same, except on this particular one, and they included the shield at the top, which they didn't do on the struck coins in 1859.
This is the reverse of 60.
Yes, yeah, basically the
so
reverse
this has
of 60.
the oak leaf rather than the laurel wreath.
Yes, and it has the shield at the top. So that's the only difference. And if you don't know any better, they're so hard to tell because you're so used to looking at Indian head cents.
That's the thing is, this is what looks normal. I just missed it.
Yeah.
I mean, completely missed it. And you looked at the Judd number, and of course you pulled up. Yeah, that's bad.
No, I found one of these. I found one of these in a dealer lot one time that we had bought. So
I just did that same sin, though, is what I was saying. Is
Yeah.
that I looked at it, and because the reverse is what I'm used to seeing on most Indian head cents, I didn't even catch it.
They are out there, you guys. So this is a coin that you can go to a coin show and look for. Odds are you're probably not going to find one, but every time you look at an 1859 cent in a dealer box, say you're going through a box, just flip it over and look for that shield. If it doesn't have it, it's normal. It's perfectly normal. But one day you might flip one over.
Normal. Look at both sides of a coin. So
just make sure you note that it's very easy to miss that because again, this is how we expect them to look for every other date except 1859. So, yeah, there you go. Awesome, you guys. Thank you so much. I love this segment. It's still my favorite. It really is.
Well, look, it was originally designed to bring some teaching and some variety to the show.
Yeah.
And it has taken on a life of its own, and it is completely different now.
Yep. I love it so much.
Yep.
Well, sir,
Working on that.
you ready to wrap this one up?
I believe so.
Can you believe we have just one more episode until the Magic 200? Between now and 200 episodes.
We have to do something for episode 200.
We're going to. We have, you know what, next week on the patron show, we'll figure out what we're doing. Deal?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what we're going to do.
We'll
figure
another
out
production meeting coming up next Saturday.
Yep. And for those patrons that want to see what it is we decide before the show, come on over, check it out. Be great.
Surprise.
Yep. So, sir, you want to go ahead and rattle off all your beautiful things that you love to rattle off at the end of the show?
Here's your hat. What's your hurry? Let's see. God, it's been so long since I've done this.
I know. That's why I'm just sitting here watching and loving every second of it.
I know. It's like you love just throwing me out. Whatever.
I like to toss things to you when you're not ready.
Yes, you do. So we would like to thank our production staff. We'd like to thank the guys for taking the questions and handling them tonight. That includes the guy on the stickers. That's Corey Scherer, our unnamed source, Barry Swan, Justin Irvin, and Ernesto Aguilar. Those are the guys behind the curtains and guys who we could not do this show without.
For sure. You guys rock. Thank you so much.
But the other people that we absolutely wouldn't do this show without is you, the listener. Thank you for listening. Without you, this entire thing would be absolutely pointless. Although I think at this point, Matt and I would probably do it anyway.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Yeah.
We have episode 199 coming up in 2 weeks. And so if you have ideas on something you'd like to see for our 200th episode, please send them to us. Mike at coinshowradio.com. Matt at coinshowradio.com. He actually answers them now.
Yep.
Or at least he sees them.
I see them.
And we can do that. Our thanks to the fine people at Snow. I'm going to see if I can get a discount on that this year.
Yeah. I love this.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So for the Coin Show, I'm Mike.
And I'm Matt.
And we'll talk to you next time on episode 199 of the Coin Show podcast.
You've been listening to the Coin Show Podcast with Matt Dinger and Mike Nottleman. The boys will be back soon with another informative and entertaining episode. Meanwhile, you can follow the show on social media at The Coin Show on Twitter and Instagram, and on Facebook at facebook.com/The Coin Show. You can also join their private group. Just search Facebook groups for Friends of the Coin Show and request access. But if you want to take it to the next level and support the Coin Show podcast, you can go to www.patreon.com/The Coin Show. If you subscribe at the $5 a month level or higher, you'll have access to Not the Coin Show podcasts on the off weeks, as well as other surprises reserved for our patrons. Visit our website at coinshowradio.com or download our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or wherever you download your podcasts. This has been the Coin Show Podcast.